been back a week and it's been a bit of a bumpy return. Jet lag coming back was pretty rough, so I've just been trying really hard to rest. Chad's suitcase was on its last leg, so we bought a new one while we were in the UK. And wisely, we picked this sort of teal colour because we thought it'd be easier to find when we picked up our luggage, which proved to be the case. But the other thing that made me laugh is it matches our walls that we painted back in January. When I was in Britain, my dad gave me this statue which he brought back from Canada years ago, and I've always loved it. So I am using it to create a new altar.
So this is a black bear in the yard, just hanging out, scratching itself, just enjoying its day.
Do you think, how long do you think he's going to be there for?
I don't know.
Oh my God, look at that. Look at that.
So that's
do you
its
think
baby.
they're related? Oh,
Yeah,
do you
they
think
have to
that's
be.
the mother?
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
the
Jesus.
mother's huge. So that's the baby.
Oh, God.
That's the mother.
Why
the
are they
mother's
here?
massive.
We don't have any bird feeders. Look at it just hanging out.
This is a massive bear in our front yard. It's huge.
God. What happens if you bang on the window?
Don't.
Why?
We don't, because we don't want to startle them. They can crash through the fence. You got to be careful.
Okay.
You don't want to startle them. Look how big it is.
Well, we don't want them coming back.
That thing is huge.
They're quite respectful of our furniture.
It's hilarious. So its cub has just gone down in there. So I think the
no.
mom is trying to check. There's no way that mom's going to fit. We don't want to freak them out, and they don't freak out and like start.
Yeah.
They can destroy stuff very quickly.
Asheville is a wonderful place, but it was still a little tough for me to get over my homesickness. Anyway, here are some travel tips that I thought you might find useful if you go to the UK and Ireland. There were some things that, especially if traveling with maybe with a family, was helpful. So the first thing, this is in relation to Ireland. I don't usually carry cash around. I have a credit card that I use that doesn't charge me for international transactions. And I tend to use that and then just pay the whole thing off straight away when we get back. But where we were in Ireland, very few places seem to do contactless pay. Like we went to a farmer's market and none of them took cards or took contactless pay. They all took cash. On top of that, sometimes when we went to park in places, the parking places would take cash, and also they would do the online app. But the problem that we had is we didn't have cell coverage in Europe, and so we were just relying on Wi-Fi where we were, which means that those apps didn't have any use to us because we couldn't get on them in a parking lot. So take some cash. I always tease my husband for taking cash because I think he's being really old-fashioned. I also think it's not very safe to carry lots of money around, and he doesn't usually, but he did draw out some euros and some pounds sterling, and in the end we needed those in a few occasions. So take a bit of cash. If you're going to travel to Ireland or to the UK and it's the middle of the summer, and we were there very close to the solstice, take eye masks. Take more than one because they go missing, I think. Take eye masks. It doesn't go dark until past 10 p.m. and it gets light by about 4:30, which means that if you are staying somewhere that has thin curtains, like my dad's house, he didn't have very thick curtains. We struggled with the daylight a little bit. And earplugs too, because you never know. Again, if you're going to UK and Ireland, you're going to need waterproofs. You need waterproof shoes, and you need a good rain jacket, and you possibly an umbrella, but definitely a rain jacket and waterproof shoes. We were mostly lucky with the weather, but definitely while we were in the UK, there were some days where it rained. There was one day that Cece and I went walking and it just was throwing it down with rain. And luckily we had waterproof shoes. If you don't take waterproofs, you might find that you're stuck inside for the majority of your visit, because you can't guarantee with UK weather, and probably not with Irish weather either, that you're going to get days where it doesn't rain. One of the best things I did was pack several tote bags. In the UK and in Ireland, very few places provide carrier bags now. Some will, but the grocery stores in the UK, and I think also at least the ones that we went to in Ireland, didn't have them either, and you have to pay for them. My recommendation is to take several tote bags, because even if you're not self-catering, you never know when you might need to go somewhere and get some provisions. The white canvas ones are my favourite kind of tote bags because I like them as souvenirs, but they're not the most practical for travelling. These are the ones that come in a little bag, or you can get the ones that sort of fold in on themselves and become like a little pocket. Those are the ones I recommend travelling with. They're easy to put in your suitcase. When you go around sightseeing, you can put them in your bag. The bigger white canvas ones tend to be more difficult to make compact, although they don't weigh anything. And this one is one of my favourites. It's by a company called Bag-O, and I'm not sure. And it was a gift. I think Chad gave it to me. Comes in a little pocket. Try not to lose the pocket. I've been so lucky so far. I've had this bag for years and I've never lost the pocket. I'm amazed by that. But anyway, it's actually a really big bag, and it's deep. You can't tell. Tipping. You don't need to tip almost anywhere. Restaurants, yes. Sometimes in like coffee shops and airports, they might ask you to tip. But other than that, don't worry about tipping. We did tip taxi drivers a little bit too. We had to take taxis a couple of times to get from the airport. We did keep a little bit of cash for that. Another thing you don't have to worry about is working out the tax. This is something that drove me crazy in the US, and now I'm so used to it that when I was in the UK, it took me a while to shift my brain. The price of something is the price of it. There is no tax added at the cash register. I don't fully understand why the US does it this way. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So if something says €5.99 or £5.99, that's what you're going to pay. On the way back from the UK on our flight, my entertainment system just stopped working, and I was so angry. I didn't make a big fuss, but I was pretty petulant about it. And they did give us a little bit of compensation for it. But it was a 8.5-hour flight. So that's a long time to not have anything to like look at or distract yourself. Fortunately, I was reading a really great book, and so I just read that most of the time. And I did play like games on my phone a little bit. But make sure you download stuff. so that if that happens, you've got some way of distracting yourself. We were very naive. We thought that the Wi-Fi would be good enough to watch something. It wasn't. And in fact, here's a thing. I don't understand why airlines are so proud of the fact that they have Wi-Fi. I have travelled long haul, probably back and forth once a year, consistently. The Wi-Fi never works. Even to browse on a website, it's never worked for me. I think they might as well just say we don't have Wi-Fi, because I've never been able to get it to work, even for things that really it should work for. So download stuff, download podcasts, download video. Get yourself an external hard drive that's got a large amount of space. This is a 1 terabyte and it works with my iPhone. I shoot lots of videos, and as you probably know, videos take up a ton of space. So to have this means that I could transfer things and free up space on my phone. This also speaks to the point of downloading stuff. So if you need to download podcasts or whatever, again, they can use up a lot of storage on your phone or on your iPad. Have an external hard drive with some of that stuff on it so that you're not constantly worried about space on your iPad or on your iPhone or your smartphone or whatever, or your tablet. Look how small that is. Isn't that great? They're really cheap and they're a great backup. They're also great because if you lose your phone, you can back up all your contacts and things. So it's really useful for that. And you might have some suggestions as well. So feel free to leave some comments. Sometimes Mother Earth has a way of reminding you what a special place you live in. And so, as much as I do miss the UK and my family, I'm also very grateful for where we are.